Hello everyone, I'm CoolGuy, welcome back, and today let's go over part 2 of my How to Improve Your KD series. This one is going to be about your aim, and I apologize about my voice, I'm kind of battling a cold, but if you haven't seen part 1, I'll try to put a card at the top of the screen right now to check it out. If not, there's definitely a link in the description. These videos are going to build off of each other. The last video got a pretty good reception. Lots of you said that the tips and reminders helped your game, from getting your first where you ran out of medals, getting your high skill games. That's what it's all about. Since there will be more episodes to the series, before we jump into this one, let's understand the end goals. The goal of the video and now series is to see improvements in your game. I get a lot of requests from players on how to up their KD, bring it up. KD itself is an important stat to some, but with the title of the series, Ways to Improve KD, translates to improving your game. That's what we're doing. On my end, the videos themselves are tough to make, tough to convey, because I want them to be easy to understand and easy to execute after that explanation. We're going to get detailed in this video. It translates to most, if not all, first-person shooters and some third-person shooters. Overwatch, Call of Duty, Fortnite. There might be some things you've never heard about before in this video, but we're going to try to cover as much as we can. I'm not going to put you in a bad situation. I won't teach you bad mechanics or give you bad habits, and honestly, most of the stuff is about breaking bad habits. And I always say, gather as much information as you can. With tip videos, not only mine, gather as much information as you can. Take what you want from them, leave what you want from them, and do what works for you. A special plan for you. And with this video, there might be something that I say that won't resonate with you. That's going to be alright, because that same tip, it might help someone else. I'm going to cover some things in my older tip videos because they're still relevant and add some new ones. Part 2 is about improving your aim, and to do that, we're going to break down various concepts to fully understand what happens in an engagement, and when something goes wrong, you know what happened and how to fix it. I need to point out that this is how I view aiming. With guides like these, they're all different. It's a hard concept to convey, because if it was easy, there would just be one guide out there. There wouldn't be any other need to talk about it. So with my view, my method, it might be different from what you've heard. You might think that it's wrong, and that's okay. The point is that there are many ways to view aiming. We have PC users, we have console users. I am a console player. This is mostly geared towards console. And PC, you have to bear with me. Some of these things, not all of them, might not apply or might be a tad different for you. But a lot of the concepts, especially in the later part of the video, are going to remain. So here's our flow. We start basic, get some groundwork, and then we're going to get into some more advanced concepts. The goal is to make it a little bit easier for you. First section, sensitivity. We're going to talk about dead zone, the way you aim, left and right stick dominance, ADS versus open sights, and then muscle memory. So let's start off with sensitivity. Some of you have been struggling to find your sensitivity for probably a while now. In games, we usually have a scale for that sensitivity, 1 to 10, 1 to 20. We're all different. We have different reaction times, so that's why that scale is needed. I will say this, the general rule is that a really low sensitivity makes the easy gunfights a tad easier and the harder gunfights a tad harder. And the higher sensitivity makes the easy gunfights a tad harder and the hard gunfights a tad easier, if that makes sense. So what's the perfect one? The truth is the right sensitivity is whatever makes you the most accurate. It has to do with your reaction time, what you can handle. I personally play on 4 in Destiny, I played 4 in Halo. I go a little bit higher in games like Call of Duty due to its TDK. I won't tell you what to use, and there isn't a set sensitivity that one person should tell another person to use. Most players do fall in a 3 to 6 range on a 1 to 10 scale, and we can talk about finding that sensitivity, because I see a lot of players that play on really high, and again, if you can control it, then you do you. But I also see players trying to emulate what they've seen from other players, maybe a favorite streamer, a YouTuber. You need to understand that some of these players are naturally gifted, they work at it, or they have that natural hand-eye coordination. That's extremely tough to do, so remember, someone might be faster than you, but that doesn't mean they're going to defeat you any quicker. So let's find that sensitivity. There are 2 areas to look at, overshooting and undershooting. We're going to have a scenario where an enemy's to your left, so you see them on the left of your screen. In the act of aiming, if you find yourself consistently aiming past them and have to correct your aim to come back, you're overshooting them and your sensitivity might be a little bit too high for you. Same goes for if you're acquiring your target and you come up short frequently. You might need to bump it up a little bit. It's with this trial and error you find your own personal sensitivity. It's your reaction time, your muscle memory. Again, most play in that 3 to 6 medium range, fast enough to be able to turn around and slow enough to land precise shots. Whatever that sensitivity is, the main goal is to be precise and accurate for you. Next up, the dead zone. The dead zone is specifically for controllers, and this section is to put a name to it and understand it. It will come up later in the review. In some games, the dead zone can be changed, in others it can't. Most games have a great dead zone for aiming. The dead zone is a small area around the center of your stick that does not respond to movement. You can try it right now, try it for yourself. Move your sticks a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right. You'll notice that the input that you give won't show up on the screen. This dead zone is there to make it easier for your aim to be steady. If the dead zone is too tight, then a small movement would make your aim jump in a direction. If the dead zone was too wide, then your aim would feel sluggish and unresponsive. We're going to tie this in later in the guide. The way you aim. A lot of players think they do this, but the truth is you can do it better, and with this section I want you to actively do it. You're going to have a light bulb moment. We talked in the previous video about red on the radar. This is a simple thing. These shooter games have a reticle, some have them while you're in sprint. When you're sprinting around, keep your sights open and actively aim. When you spawn, you have a good idea of where you want to go, you know exactly what you want to do, so on your navigation to that spot, move your crosshair with the terrain, up and down stairs into choke points. In the areas most likely to have an enemy pop out. You'll see red on the radar as you approach them. Your aim should be exactly where you think that they're coming out, so when you do have to aim down sights, it's a very small movement. On console, then that aim assist starts kicking in, and I know that a common tip is to run around with your reticle at head level, but understand that that's going to be relative to terrain and distance, and obviously don't be running with your head in the dirt or looking in the sky. I can all but promise you that when you actively aim, it puts you in a focus, a type of focus that some of you haven't felt before. It's a focus that's a building block to improving your aim. So give it a try. When you're navigating the map, always be aiming in that reticle, keep it tight, exactly where you think an enemy will come out. Left stick and right stick dominance. Players play different, this is somewhat of a gray area. Your sticks work together as one. Movements are made to correct and compensate. Your left stick is your strafe, your right stick is your aim. There are outliers and we will cover those, but a way to think about it is your left stick is for aiming and your right stick is for initial target acquisition, recoil control, and fine adjustments. When you strafe to land your shots. That's why we call it left stick aiming. The left stick keeps your shot straight, it keeps it steady. When a gunfight happens, the right stick is the first initial target acquisition, you aim to the target, and get on a plane of the critical. We talked about undershooting and overshooting earlier, so if this movement is short or long, you strafe into the shot because again, you are on the plane of the critical. Once you're there, that left stick follows the head, and when something's thrown off, that's where the right stick makes the small adjustment in the direction that you're off to get your shot back on, to get it straight. The further the enemy is away, the more left stick dominant you're going to be. The distance is relation to how much you need to move your crosshair to be more precise. And at further distances, that left stick is way more precise with left stick aiming. Now the closer they are, like in CQC, such as jumping around, knee sliding using a shotgun, that's more right stick dominant. And players that play on higher sensitivities have a much easier time doing this. Everything in between though is both sticks working together. You get on target, you strafe to land your shots, the right stick is for recoil control and adjustments to get your shot back online. In a situation where let's say your enemy is running to the left, you catch them in sprint. So we get on the target, strafe to land our shots, the right stick is doing small tracking. There comes to a point where he's going to get out of sight, so we have to strafe to the right with our left stick, and the right stick starts tracking a little bit more to the left. So they're working opposite in this scenario. This is them working together. There's also flick shooting. You see this a lot with hand cannons. It's flicking to the head with your right stick on every shot. Some players flick in almost all their engagements. This isn't wrong, it's just a different way. But again, the left stick is strafing, keeping that shot online, and when you are offline, you flick to the head. But that's the thing to really take away. The strafe is there to land your shots, the left stick aiming. And when you start thinking like this, the right stick subconsciously makes those adjustments when enemies jump, when they move in different directions. The right stick keeps it tight, that's your muscle memory. Aim down sights versus open sights. There are times when you 110% know where an enemy will come out. As we talked about earlier with active aiming, this reduces your reaction time to a small fine movement. You keep those sights open and you ADS right on top of your target. It's no secret to pre-aim. You pre-aim on choke points, pre-aim at corners you know an enemy is at, but there are times when you can be in aim down sights too long. Be mindful of these situations. Let's take this right here. I land shots and I push up on him, knee slide, and I shoot at this corner because I thought he would keep running. He ended up stopping to challenge me, but he gets behind this piece of cover and I land more shots on him. Now his movement tells me he's going to go to the other side of this cover. So I keep my crosshairs open and make sure he comes out on the other side before I aim down sights. Because when in open sights right here, I can see the left side of this cover, and on PC, field of view is going to be pushed back a little bit more, so it might not be as drastic. In this scenario here, I could have aimed down sights, but that would have blocked my field of view to the left. If he would have come around that corner with a shotgun, I would have been helpless. I wouldn't even have seen him coming. So when you watch other players and you watch different gameplays, you see players aim in and out really quickly. This is checking that field of view to make sure they're not getting flanked. And there were a couple times right before this clip where I kept those crosshairs open until I knew exactly where the enemy would come out. And most of the time, we read them like a book, we know what they're doing, but we need to make sure. There are more advanced players that will keep you guessing, that will come back out where they were, knee sliding with a shotgun, and if you're aimed down sights on the other side, you won't see it coming. With the crosshairs open, you then get into centering the enemy to you on your screen and then into aim down sights. There is a time to aim down sights with pre-aim. We have a really good idea of what's going on in those scenarios, but in areas with cover, be careful not to pre-aim just one side. You can get caught and then you're helpless. Keep those crosshairs open and then acquire your target. And the last part, muscle memory. Muscle memory is something that is all you. It's your muscle memory. I can't do that for you, but what we can do is try to improve it. In this last section, we'll tie everything together that we've talked about. There are 3 things to understand. Number 1, target acquisition. 2, dead zone comfort. And 3, precision. Here's the deal. Aiming is aiming. So you can go to PvE, you can play against bots in other games. Sure, some enemies are going to be taller or shorter, but just like in a PvP match, enemies are going to be above you. They're going to be below you. So aiming's aiming. Find an area that has a weak enemy, or maybe a couple of them. If a game doesn't have a PvE section or a practice area, you can still improve this in PvP. What's so nice is that in Destiny, when you're doing your weekly activities like Nightfalls, patrols, you could be doing this. It starts paying off. With target acquisition, your whole goal is point A to point B shooting, as quickly and efficiently as possible, snapping to your target's head and be on that critical spot. On initial target acquisition, depending on the distance, the right stick is moved until you reach the target. Then you ease off. That can mean that your right stick pushes all the way, hitting the controller casing, or halfway. Someone with a higher sensitivity would move that less. So with this practice enemy, start getting your distances. Make them be far to your left, far to your right, medium left, medium right. Practice the distance you need to snap on your target. That's your target acquisition, the first part of aiming, and this is where we go full circle. Because when you're here after target acquisition, you're lined up, then the left stick keeps you steady. But another thing you need to learn is getting precision from here. That's where the dead zone comfort comes in. So let's pull up this graphic again. From the area of where the dead zone starts, right until where the stick is touching the casing is where you need to be comfortable. This is your fine aiming. So when you strafe left but the enemy moves right, it's that precision within this zone with your right stick that gets you back on. For some players, when the target moves to the left or to the right, and you have to get the reticle back on, that's where that flick comes in. And again, some players do this. That's a fast movement of the right stick, hitting the outer casing very quickly. Aim assist stops you, slows you down, so you don't overshoot them. So for some people, it's that fast fine movement within the zone that we talked about, and the other's flick. Both aren't wrong, both are used widely by players. So let's talk about getting comfortable within that zone. We want to aim at the target and let them move, because you want to be able to track them. And when they move, do what you need to do to get your reticle on the head using everything that we talked about today in this guide. And the last part, and this is very important, get in a mindset of the only shot that you take is a headshot, because that's going to build that muscle memory. Take it slow, because it kind of needs to be slow. You have your weak enemies like dregs or acolytes. You see a group of them, go from target to target to target, taking them out with your target acquisition. Then you start moving on to your medium bosses, and this is the next thing that you want to do. You're going to be moving left or to the right. They're going to be moving left and right. You're going to be tracking them. Only pull the trigger or click that mouse when it's 100% a headshot. Because as they're moving, you need to be making your adjustments. When they move, your aim is off. You need to see and feel the movement it takes to land the shot. That's teaching the muscle memory. And you want different things to happen. You're going to be on target and strafe right, but they're going to move to your left, vice versa. Make the necessary adjustments to get right back on the critical. And again, only pull the trigger when it's a headshot. Because you will feel these small movements, and you will work on these small movements by doing this. And all of this helps working on those distances, things like that. So in a gunfight in PvP, you can track a lot better. So in conclusion, one more time. Number 1, acquire your target. Point A to point B, you snap it fast and efficiently. That's your right stick doing most of the work in most settings. But as we discussed earlier with active aiming, that distance is very minimal. In situations where you're pre-aimed and that target is right around a corner, you know that they're there, you're already aimed down sights, that left stick is more prevalent here. Number 2, after acquiring your target, you are on the plane of the critical spot. The left stick takes over to be precise, you strafe to land your shots. The right stick is there for recoil control. It's there for any unforeseen changes that your enemy does, like crouching, jumping, an odd strafe. It gets you back online. And number 3, the goal is to land the critical shots, the headshots. In some games like Call of Duty, center body mass is probably the best option, so that's what you would work on. But it's hand-eye coordination, muscle memory. We know that all the shots aren't going to be headshots in PvP, but that's what we strive for. So this is very difficult, and it's also very difficult to teach. I hope that this video helped in some way, shape, or form. Again, take what you want and leave what you want, but gather as much knowledge as you can. Get better, practice. Down in the comment section, if you have anything to add, please do. Let's talk about it, and if you're new here, remember to hit the subscribe button. If you are subscribed, thank you for your support. Remember to hit the like button. Thank you for watching, and until the next one, I am CoolGuy.